I didn't.
You didn't see this coming.
I didn't see it coming. I don't know why. And I was trying to think of a thumbnail for the show the entire time, and I didn't see this one coming. I don't know why.
You should have known.
Blindsided. I'm blindsided.
You should have known. See, there was another thing that could have been the thumbnail as well, because Mandy Rose was active on Twitter this afternoon, or
Oh.
this morning for you, where she'd call out someone that was swinging bats around on NXT, that being Kaylee Ray.
Yeah.
And then Kaylee Ray responded with this photo, and then that nearly became the thumbnail. And then I was like, yeah, it could be the thumbnail, because it's the only time I've found Kaylee Ray to look attractive. Because normally she looks like a person that would kill me.
Yeah. She looks like she's in her garage and decided to take this photo. Like, well, I'll show this bitch.
So there was something very apparent on this episode. Or maybe this is a recurring theme throughout the week, Marcus. So Tuesday we had a joke around about this image.
Yeah. Porno. Yeah.
Yeah. What about this image?
I hate for to be the woman who's under there. Or guy. It could be all either way at this point. But it looks like they did some dirt.
Or about
done.
Yeah.
It looks like it's about to be a mess somewhere.
Talking about real dirt, though.
How can you pour something out and not pour nothing out?
My man said rest in piss. No, but the other thing was he told Trick to get the thing ready. Like there was something was supposed to be in it.
Yeah.
I think Trick got thirsty.
Trick drank. He was like, I wasn't supposed to drink that? Who was that for? The homies?
And then the thing that probably should have been the thumbnail was this.
The guys. The current guys of NXT.
Well, there was another thing I could have used, but I didn't really want to pay homage to it.
Ooh, what was that?
It was the Young Bucks, Red Dragon, and Adam Cole and his baby.
You could have, but you know, AEW don't make covers here before reasons Cody Rhodes has ruined it for everybody. He ruined it for everybody.
Yeah, well, even Dan Lambert made it a fact. But we'll be back right after.
Hold on, before we do it, we gotta say one line. Mandy. We should have said that at the beginning, but you know.
Yeah, but you know the thing. If we do that, there's a thing that has to follow afterwards. It's that weird moan that happens after that song.
I'm Shotzi Blackheart, the ballsy badass, and you are watching the Untitled Manny and Marcus show. Remember to like the video and subscribe.
Hey! Oh! Check out the Marcus and Manny show.
I hate you both right now. You guys are ridiculous.
Scheming.
This has been on the deck for a very long time. I don't know why it's taken this long to come out. Welcome everyone to the
Untitled has plans all week. He was scoping out. I'm assuming that Owen, that other guy, or the other guy in that one match. I forgot the match already.
Damon Kemp.
Damon Kemp. Sean Kemp's son.
So, welcome everyone to the Untitled Manny and Marcus show. I'm Lord Manny Hayes. He
is Marcus. the grand finale.
Oh, he's gone superhero pose.
Someone bring it
Hands
back.
on his hips.
Someone give me my soul back. Come on, come on. There it is. I'm back. I'm ready to go.
So, actually, speaking of souls, before we get into anything, so as I look for thumbnails and stuff from all various sources like Twitter, WWE photos, Instagram, on the WWE Instagram, there was a bit on there. So when they have a video, it normally has a thumbnail. This had a thumbnail, and it was from Around the Bell or whatever Corey Graves podcast on the WWE.
I believe it's called After the Bell.
After the Bell, and then it had a thumbnail of Bobby Lashley, and then subtitles that said Brock Lesnar has no soul. Which I felt was unnecessary from the champ, the former champ to the current champ.
Well, why not? I feel like that's a fact. I feel like that's a new Brock fact that we need to have. We need to have Brock facts, like Matt facts, after each show. Because the more we get to know about Brock Lesnar, yeah, Brock has no soul. And I can imagine he doesn't. I can see someone going, I want your soul, Brock. He's like, never had one. Oh. That's why he threw Zach Gowen down the stairs. Yes.
So, I can't stop. It's like I sniff cocaine. I can't stop going up my nose. But I actually have a cold. People, it's not a drug addiction.
It's all the same. It's all the same. You got to use drugs to get rid of it, don't you?
So how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Apparently, I'm really hot in this room now. Now I start the show. I don't know what's going on with that. But I refuse, as always, to turn on the fan to disrupt the audio content of this show.
He had it on before we went live, and at one point it sounded like a airplane was taking off in this room or about to land on bumpy ground. It was like,
because I was setting the show up, Manny, because I'm about to take off on these shows today. I'm about to take off. We're about to take flight. We're about to go somewhere with this.
Can we also appreciate that Marcus is wearing a ding dong hello shirt?
Hello.
I hope she comes
Bailey
back.
gonna be back. She's gonna be back. Maybe after
I love what you said about
Kayla.
Kayla. I love what you said about Kayla the other day.
Oh, what
When
she said about
Kayla? People were clamoring for Kayla to announce herself into the Royal Rumble, and then instantly Bailey responded with, "Yes, she should, so I can throw her outside the ring so she can land on Michael Cole's face." And then I went, "I volunteer a tribute. I volunteer a tribute for Michael Cole."
I want to be the honorable Michael Cole for a day.
Could you imagine the trauma of being Michael Cole for the day? With Vince yelling in your ear on the microphone. Say this, damn it!
I'm pretty sure that he doesn't even hear it anymore. It's been going on for years.
I'm pretty sure he does.
Remember, Michael Cole is actually suffering from hearing loss. And so he probably just like, that's part of it. And it's just like, I don't even hear Vince anymore. Pat's just dancing on the table. In fact, I'm sure Michael Cole doesn't hear anything anymore. Full autopilot every day at work, just getting away with it. No one noticed.
So, are you ready to get into the shows?
Yes, I am ready. Let's go. Are we going to do some down south slanging?
I'm amped because I managed to get a nap in today.
What? Sleep? Look at you. You going all Wendy Chew on the show. Like rested and ready to do some belly to belly suplexes.
She was fire.
She was good. She was good. I didn't think Mei Ling had this in her.
Well, Mei Ling was trash. Mei Ling was
trash.
trash. When did you awaken and then suddenly had a moveset?
I'm impressed that she tries to wrestle to her characters. Like, she just doesn't have a bunch of moves. It's like, oh, she could change it up. I want her to go throwback and give us some Mei Ling some of this one day. I don't care when it is, but just go
There's
to a
going to be one
throwback
time
move.
where her and Boa lock eyes.
Yeah. What the hell happened to you? That's what Bullish responds to me. Is this what's gonna happen to me once the demon stuff possessing me? I'm just gonna be tired all the time? Become a narcoleptic?
So NXT kicks off with Bron Breakker. He puts over Ciampa for passing him the torch, and then high-fiving his daddy.
Hey.
He promised that he would spend every day watching film and getting better before everyone else, and then taking on all challenges. When he walks out, and then Santos Escobar pretty much interrupts him on the way out.
Give him that gleam. Okay. I got you. You next. I'll whoop your ass next. I'm going for that title, Braun. That's why I hope that's what we were going for next, because I would be happy if Santos got a title shot, and he'd be a good opponent for Bron Breakker, who is a young upstart in this business. Yeah. And as we start the show with this, I'm going to say, Bron Breakker, I was impressed with his championship promo. I thought he did a really good job, and I'm going back to saying it. He's the guy. He's the
guy, but you can see that they took precaution with him, because I don't think because he's brand new to everything. I think they kept his promo short and sweet, which is what you're supposed to do. So he doesn't come off weak or like inexperienced. So if you keep it short and sweet, hide the problems that he may have, or the shortcomings he may have, and then obviously in time he'll get better, which I think is the route they're going to go with him.
Yeah, of the two champions that cut promos of celebratory victories of deleting the Black and Gold brand forever, I thought Mellows was better, but I thought Breakker was good. I thought that, to me, he delivered a better championship speech than Hangman Page this week.
Yes, but we'll get on to that. So Santos Escobar versus Zion Quinn. Pretty good match. Quinn gets kicked in the balls by Elektra, enabling Santos to pick up the win. I changed up the stats for this, because we originally had run-in, but sometimes they're already there, so it's not really a run-in. So I've put outside interference, run-in / outside interference, because it doesn't lead to a DQ.
Okay. But I'm going to say Elektra Lopez might have the best nut shot in the game, in which that kick looked very violent to the nuts. It looked like a kid throwing a temper tantrum, and that looked like it hurt. I swear she really kicked that man in his nuts. And I was like, oh no, that hurts.
Have you ever been hit by a temper tantrum kid like that?
I'm sure I have.
I visibly remember 2 occasions when it's happened to me. One, I was standing by the customer service desk. There was a side office which was called the food office, to the left of the table. A little girl was just randomly swinging her arm, like. I just walked into it. Like, I was just walking towards the desk, nailed. Instantly dropped to the ground. Like, dropped to my knees, and then crawled into that office. Didn't say anything. Pushed the door open, and then started shouting, that fucking child!
Manny, are you announcing on the show you got beat up by a little kid? Is that what just happened?
Marcus, this wasn't the first time. First of all, that one was a little girl as well, so...
Just throw her through the window. I'm just like...
And then the second time, in a comic book store, a kid just hit me, like, what?
He had to see, you know what? He had to know. He had to test himself. Kid gonna be strong. He gonna be mighty in these streets.
Yeah, and then he got held up in front of his dad, and I'm like, look, you better deal with him, or I'm dropping him.
I'm gonna drop your dad. I feel like no kid can recover of seeing their dad get laid out in the street by somebody. Like, damn. Like, you lose all respect for your dad once he gets his ass whooped. There's 2 times you lose respect for people. Is when they get beat up in their own house. It's like, ooh, you got beat up in your own house. Or as a kid watching your dad get laid out. Unfortunately, I've never seen that. I believe my dad was maybe 9-0 in his career of fighting people randomly in the streets.
9-0.
Yeah, 9-0 randomly fighting the streets on record in my eyes.
So in your eyes, does he walk around the house like? Did he walk around the house like Goldberg?
Yeah. Undefeated. He had the streak going, undefeated. I'm sure there were probably some losses somewhere, but not in front of me. Once you're in front of your son, I believe you need to be at your best behavior for your fighting, because you don't want to see your son see you whopped out. Otherwise, that kid now will see themselves become the new king of the house. Nah, man. Remember that time you got beat up by Eddie from down the street? Ooh, you never recover. You gonna hit me now? You could beat up Eddie.
Oh, yeah. So I got beat up by 2 kids.
Damn. Just throw up the windows, man. Just man, you gotta get your heat back. You gotta say you came back at that kid with a steel chair.
I didn't get my heat back at the kid in the comic store. I couldn't get my heat back against a child, a little girl. What was I gonna do? Break her down mentally?
You gotta find ways to ruin their life. I don't know how. Next time they come to the store, nope, we're out of stock. But I really want this. We're out of stock. And we will never be in stock again for you. And then sell it to the kid behind him.
Marcus, I don't work there anymore. I'm good. I hope the worst for that kid. I hope they grew up and then the worst things happened to them. Moving on. We got Cameron Grimes versus Damon Kemp. This match was kind of just there, other than Bivin scouting Kemp. He didn't look too bad, but like it was a squash match. Like he had like 3 moves.
Yeah, I can see him being in Diamond Mine. He could be a good piece. I don't know if Roddy is still going to be around. I don't know what the plan is for him.
I don't know what the plan is, but
Kemp will
the
be
person.
A good,
do you know who would have also been a good fit?
Who's that?
The person we were kind of raving as a joke, but like I can't even remember his name. His name began with D. He looked like we also were going to recast Dawkins with him.
Oh, D'Angelo DeJournette?
Yeah, DeJournette, that's the one.
Denzel DeJournette?
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's no longer there, Manny.
Yeah, but he would have been a good fit. He seemed like he seemed like he had a very athletic and what's the word?
Collegiate
amateur wrestling background.
Growing Recco, yeah, he did, but he's gone. It's gone.
We learned that Von Wagner has been fined and suspended for his actions last week, which apparently was lifted at the end of the night. And
also learned that Von Wagner suspension and fines lifted and paid. I'm assuming it's Pierce. Maybe they're going back to that.
Oh, maybe. Then we get
or
Joe
they
Gacy.
just fired William Regal and realized that we have nobody to pay the fine to.
Well, who's looking after NXT then? It's very weird. So we get Joe Gacy and Harlan versus Edris Enofe and Malik Blade. I need Malik Blade to team up with someone else. I think
Why
he's
not?
out there. He's teaming with. There's someone out there. I think he's on the Indies at the moment. He may be in AEW for all I know, or somewhere else. Baron Black. And together they can combine. Together they can become the guy that was in the WWE games in career mode, Baron Blade.
Why are you trying?
I just need it to happen.
Man, that would be a reference that would be on YouTube of the top 10 on Codaholic. WWE referencing video games into their actual show. Number 1, Baron Blade. They teamed up with Malik Blade. Someone uses it as a reference. Like, what? This is obscure as hell.
This actually wasn't a bad match till Harlan got in the ring and killed either Idris Enofe or Malik Blade and then got himself DQ'd.
Yeah, for dominating too much. I hate when they get DQ for dominating too much. But this was for a Dusty the buy-in or whatever to get to the Dusty the play-in.
But everyone else doesn't have
Classic.
to qualify. I don't know why these two have to.
Because they're not a registered tag team, and I don't think Harlan shouldn't be in the streets.
If anyone was a shoe in, it would have been Joe Gacy and Harland.
But shout out to Idris Adafe and for failing up, Malik Blade for failing up into this.
They ain't actually that bad, you know. Like,
they were solid. They're solid. I really like Malik Blade.
Yeah, but he's they make him out to be a jobber, like on 205 and recently on NXT. But like he is actually pretty decent.
Yeah, he sells well.
Yeah. And then we get the Vince Russo special, crowbar on a pole match.
And my match of the week. I wish I had the random Italian music that starts Tony D'Angelo's music, and I wish I had control because I would hit that every time I tried to talk about
You will never
Tony
have control.
Tony D, my MVP so far of 2022 wrestling. Man, it's
the only
over
the only day you will have control is the day I'm not at home and then have to do on location site, and then you will have control.
Yes. And then you know what? The show will be decorated in an Italian flag, and it would be the Tony D and Manny show featuring. No, it would be the Tony D'Angelo show featuring Manny and Marcus. What? Siri, shut up. I was looking around like, which Siri was this?
Yeah, so it was Tony D'Angelo versus Pete Dunne. This actually wasn't a bad match. It's just the stipulation is awful.
I'm going to say for the record, this is the best on a pole match I may have ever seen. I haven't seen them in a while, but I'm pretty sure this is going to be ranked up high in there. Like,
you know what I found
it
funny?
had good psychology. Pete Dunne's dope.
What I found funny was they went for other weapons, and then the ref said no.
Yes.
I appreciate the refereeing in this.
So, because we're going to talk about some refereeing later.
Yes.
The next report. But I did appreciate that they did tell the story. You can't use anything. I can't use the ladder. You can't use the ladder. I can't use the chair.
You can only use the crowbar on the pole.
Yep. So, because when they came back from commercial break, there were all these weapons scattered around. I was like, they done fucked each other up. And then, when they announced it, when Wade was like, the referee has done a great job in stopping everybody from using any other outside weapons other than that crowbar on the pole. They told the story of the crowbar on the pole.
Yeah.
So,
and then
that shot at the end was vicious.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
This feels like I don't know if this word is used in America. Pete Dunne's swan song.
That is used.
Yeah, I feel like this is Pete Dunne being done in NXT.
In WWE or just NXT?
I think NXT. So before Raw, I know they did it on SmackDown as a dark match, but before Raw they recorded Tommaso versus Pete Dunne for main event. So yeah. I have a feeling both of them are going to end up on one of the other shows.
I hope so. I don't know where Ciampa's stance is in moving away. I think NXT 2.0 though has a new face of that show, and it might be Walter.
Yeah,
I think Walter is taking over the show. As in the old time vet, he may become champion soon.
I'm not sure where everyone fits in, like in the WWE landscape right now, but like someone that definitely doesn't fit in is Tommaso Ciampa and Roderick Strong, because they're obviously the indie darlings that they're trying to get rid of.
Yeah.
Whereas like you look at Pete Dunne and he's kind of like because he was so young at that point when they signed him like Tyler Bate and not really Trent Seven. Trent Seven looks really old, but like those guys look like guys that they've invested in and probably want to keep around, because like Pete Dunne still kind of could fit the role of the 2.0 mold.
Yeah,
but
he's
done so much. He's also done so much that like, where do you go with him other than put the NXT title on him, which isn't really something you'd want to do when you're trying to build the new stars.
Yeah, I think he's gonna. Pete Dunne's gonna fill that role of, an AJ Styles Cesaro, Ziggler on the main roster. Where go out there and have a good match, kid. You may not get further than the Intercontinental title, but that's pretty much where we need you to fill this role on SmackDown. It's only so many happy talk segments we can have to fill time. We need to at one point put a good wrestling match.
Yeah,
he'd be a good foil, because especially they may have to beef up some of these rosters due to the Omarion virus spreading wide, and you may have to put some of these guys on there.
So I don't know what the future is, but I feel like Pete Dunne is on his way out of NXT to bigger things.
Pete Dunne, Cesaro's new tag partner. Let's go.
I would love that. That would actually be pretty good. Yeah.
Yep. Or you align him with Ridge and Sheamus.
Yeah, and then you just call it. So
there
was an amazing. Do you know what WWE 2K? What was it? 2K21 or 2K20? There was an amazing storyline on there.
2K19, man.
No. I think it was 2K20. There was an amazing storyline on it where it was Finn Balor, I think Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, and Pete Dunne, led by Becky Lynch. all that United Kingdomness there. It was like it sounds like it should dominate. So I would love that to happen, kind of thing. But like that's not gonna happen.
It's never gonna happen. The video game storylines never come true. I'm still waiting for the Un-Americans to show up, and I know we had multiple form of them. But it was like Christian MVP and someone else, and they had seceded from America. And I believe this happened in real life, but they did it in the video game as well. And then they just branched out. They were just heel faction. I want that faction though with Pete Dunne and Ridge and Sheamus, and maybe we throw Cesaro in there.
Yeah.
These are that's 4 badass workhorses who will just beat the crap out of you.
So we get Casey Catanzaro, Caden Carter, and Amari Miller versus Indy Hartwell, Persia Pirotta, and Wendy Choo.
I am on the Wendy Choo train, Manny. I support it. It's basically
choose her.
choose her. Yeah, you can see his heart break. Rewind it. Oh. But I feel it's a good version of it's a good knockoff of Orange Cassidy. Like that's all it is. But took it to the even more extreme because she brings pillow and I guess some form of mystical tea or coffee or whatever.
No, it's
into the match.
I can't remember what they used. What it was called in Space Jam. It was the special, the potion Bugs Bunny.
Special stuff. Jordan's special stuff.
How about them dives, though, Marcus? How about them dives?
Those were good, solid.
They were
dives.
executed.
Amari, what you call this? That was a really good one.
Again, she's also used as a jobber, but actually really good.
Pretty athletic. Do you think there's ever going to be a time where Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter are going to get called up? Because I think they're the longest standing NXT characters right now.
No, they will never get called up.
I feel like they're eyeing Naomi's job with the glow. If Naomi would team them up and be like, oh, you guys can feel the glow, and then they can come out and they can do, excuse me, their smoke entrance with the extinguisher and her glow, they can make a full-on nightclub scene party.
And then Indy and Co win the match. That's about it.
Nice showing for Wendy Choo, the formerly Mei Ling, who I didn't see it as a crown champ. Mei Ling, the other night. How dare they?
And then we get Dakota dropping evil on MSK as they stare at the Dusty Cup. She gives them the knowledge of nothing divides friendship more than success, and then both of them were like, "Don't you put that evil on us, Dakota?
Yeah.
Don't you dare put that evil on us."
Yeah, just because you're Dusty Cup, I guess she did win it. Yeah. Probably last year. Just because that shit broke you all up.
She won it with Raquel, and then they got handed the titles, and then lost them on the same night.
Yep. Good times for the women's tag team champions who have been missing for some weeks now. We heard their voice. We heard them in voice only this week.
So as I posted the show onto the mid-card mess, the instant comment from Maurice said, "It's the GTOAT, GTOAT, greatest thumbnail of all time."
Shout out to Mandy for doing that. But
By the
yeah,
way,
it's a
by the way, we're
thumbnail
doing that
all
on
time.
Saturday and just not telling Eric because Eric doesn't watch the show. So we're just gonna do it repeatedly throughout the show. And I'm gonna introduce myself as Manny and then say it like that as well.
Oh. But I still didn't see that thumbnail coming though. You know, I mean, we got all these vignettes throughout the night of Mandy and her. This is how she celebrates as a champion. I guess in
by herself
bikini
and just taking pictures.
Yeah,
very lonely. Man, do you need someone?
Yeah.
Are you lonely?
Make sure you get my good side. That's right. They're all my good side. So and then Kaylee Ray decides to wreck her set. Like, just, you know, wreck that shit. And I thought that was classless. And if Gigi and JC was around, you'd be dead. You'd be a chalk outline. You'd be an unsolved mystery.
She did try to wreck it. She did wreck a set, but Mandy was on location for most of that.
That's true.
Katie Ray had no idea. Katie Ray had failed.
She cost some paper. She just destroyed paper. I guess one camera was gone too. One camera.
She just destroyed a light. Ooh,
fancy light.
So I believe this was my moment of the week.
Ooh.
Solar Sikoa versus Boa. The name's so good they rhyme.
This is gonna be a story that echoes through time. You got your Flair Steamboats and your Bockwinkel and you know Biscuit. I'm just making names up. As I just say old names. No one's gonna know if these are real rivalries or not. But you got your Jake the Snake and probably Steamboat. But yeah, this is Boa and Sequoia. Forever. Fight forever chance already.
So this ended up as a count out, but this isn't the most important part. This isn't the most important part. So Boa throws a fireball at Solo.
Yeah, he has that
in
now.
A brawl in the background. And I'm just gonna say it. It's not the greatest fireball of all time.
No.
Because that honor goes to the 1 year anniversary of that.
Oh,
when
really?
Alexa Bliss did it to Randy Orton.
Oh, I thought you were going with the fireball of Keith Lee opening a contract and him
No,
being
that's
blinded.
different. That book was on fire. That wasn't a fireball. That book was just fire. And I don't really want to remember him going. Sound like a bear in despair. That wasn't even meant to rhyme.
No, it did. No, he sound like a bear in despair. That sounds like a saying people would say in the streets in 1972. And speaking jive, my brother, you sound like a bear in despair. And it's like, what is this? Leave this language back in the day, Manny. Leave this back in the 80s. But yeah, I feel like this will lead to the Great Balls of Fire pay-per-view too. We never got a sequel to that way.
NXT 2.0 Great Balls of Fire.
That's a lot to say, but I'm bored.
Because the NXT the NXT story team, what are they called? The production team? Was it creative team? There we go. We eventually got there eventually. Yeah. It's now Bruce Pritchard and some other guy that's called Russo.
We lost Shawn Michaels. They will never fire Shawn Michaels.
But it makes sense.
Shawn Michaels was fired.
But it makes sense. Because obviously if their vision is to have these guys on the main roster, they might as well have some bullshit main roster stories So the transfer for them to come over is easier, and they share the same vision that Vince wants. Because like that, I feel like that was the main problem with the fact that the recent NXT call-ups of Black and Gold that came up didn't mesh well with the storytelling or the what Vince actually wanted. So they always became like shitty. Like, oh, this person was really good in NXT. But then when they got to the main roster, it was like, we don't know what to do with them.
Yeah, you didn't prepare us for this.
So it makes
you don't know your script. What do you mean you didn't have a script?
Yeah, so it makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense to have that.
Yeah, so
Ross said, "Evening, gents, just watching Royal Rumble '98. Sheesh." See, I've got to do that too later tonight. Saying that does not help me because we're watching the Royal Rumble, '98 event, the match, and the main event, which was Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker in the casket match.
Oh, this is the end of Shawn Michaels then for 5-something years or whatever.
No, because Shawn Michaels gave up off the Mania, wasn't it, against Austin?
Yeah. This is the back injury. This is where it happens.
Yeah. Levi said, "I always wondered how do wrestlers create a fireball. Does anyone know?" I mean, you gotta go back through history and ask Ryu and Ken.
Here's how I believe it's done. Do you remember the old squirts? Or like a bottle. So you squirt a little bit of what you call them? I guess liquid up, and you light a match, and it shoots the fireball, and it disappears instantly. I also know how to do this with hairdressing or hairspray. You just spray a little bit into a lighter, and it just real quick.
Oh yeah, the one I was thinking of is how you make a flamethrower. You get the spray, and then you shoot the lighter. Ross also states Marcus is back from his shady vaccines from the guy on the street corner. Welcome back. You want to elaborate?
Someone else brought that up to me at my job. It was like, so where'd you get your vaccine from? Oh, I got it at a grocery store. Oh, you should never do it to the grocery store. You need to go. You need to follow. You know who you need to talk to a guy. You need to find a real person. You got that off-brand. You got that Shasta. I don't know what off-brand is in the UK, but like Shasta.
Did this grocery store have at least a pharmacy inside it?
Yes. Yep.
I see. It's not that bad.
It had the real stuff. It's just that I died. Okay, I died. I felt the effects right away, or not away, but I just had bad effects. It was like I did some bad drugs though. Like I had a bad trip. You went to a bad dealer. Like I didn't have this experience. You had a bad trip.
Levi, Ross, do you know how wrestlers create fireballs? Magic, Levi, magic. Is it black magic? It's 2022, man. Magic doesn't see color anymore. Nice one, Ross.
Well done. Really good. Really good. Both guys with this dialogue.
So we move on to Mello and Trick. Trick says he's happy for Mello because when he has gold, they both have gold. Trick and Mello go together like peanut butter and jelly, Shaq and Kobe, and Trick Williams and Big Booty Wendy. So now, is he talking about Wendy Chu or AJ Styles' wife?
Well, Wendy, we all know he better not. But he could be because AJ came out right away, right after. It was like, yo, man, that's my Wendy. But Shaq and Kobe didn't get along. I hope Kevin knows this. And pending on the jelly, it doesn't get along with peanut butter. Like, if you give me some boysenberry and peanut butter, it's a terrible mix because boysenberry is disgusting. Or if you give me strawberry and peanut butter, because I'm a grape jelly guy, it mess it up. So Trick is planting seeds that he is turning on Mello eventually. Like Shaq.
By the way,
and Kobe,
I don't ever call
strawberry
it jelly. By the way,
like Big Booty Wendy. Huh?
I don't call it jelly, by the way.
You call it what, jam?
Yeah.
You guys would.
They pay respects to Roddy, Cruiserweight Championship reign. Rest in piss.
Rest in piss. Oh,
That's what he said. I thought it was.
I know
very
he
odd.
did. I thought that was gonna be a mistake, but he did. I think we do need a Mello rest in piss shirt. Although that could go in some bad directions real quick.
It would go in very bad directions. He says numbers don't lie and Mello don't miss because he is the walking cheat code and history maker in the physical form and the most tintillating champion in NXT. He called the North American title the AA Championship. And then Grimes calls his shot in the parking lot.
Yes, sitting on his car. And my favorite moment was, Grimes talking about how I would have bought this, a moment ago, but I'm about championships and walking away and throwing it to him. And then both Trick and Mello going, he lucky. Nothing was stopping them from beating his ass. I don't know how he was lucky or what they had to do. It was like, we don't have time to do a beatdown.
Do you know what I had a problem? Do you know what I had a problem with? How easy the fat guy probably gave up the keys.
Yeah.
Grimes probably didn't have to give him money. He probably waved a cheeseburger at him or something.
No, the fat guy gave it up because the fat guy is not their valet. He's not valet, and they gave him his keys. I can see him right now. You wanna fuck with me, huh? Go treat me like I'm valet. I show him I give his fucking keys away. Just someone asks me. I dare somebody ask me. But just talking shit like, that's not gonna happen. Guys like, you got the keys for their car? Shit. Here you go. Fuck them.
So earlier in the night,
Grayson, they gonna tell me to get the car.
Earlier in the night, Grayson Waller states that he's destined to be in the main event. States maybe on Friday he goes to SmackDown and smacks Roman Reigns and Shinsuke Nakamura. I'd like to see him try.
I think Shinsuke's healthy now, so he's gonna get fucked up by either one. I don't think he's getting past Shinsuke boobs.
But then as AJ's coming to the ring, he has a little stare off with Mello, which is a match I kind of want to see.
I do.
Yeah, I want to see that.
I know AJ isn't staying long in this, but he's probably going back to the main roster, but I wouldn't mind seeing that. It'd be pretty good.
Yep. And then the match was really good.
Yep.
For what it
really
was.
Good
It was like, I didn't think Grayson Waller was that good. Like AJ made him look better than Omos.
Is this his redemption match?
Yeah, it had to be his redemption match.
I'd have the worst match of my goddamn career. Now I gotta fight this other little kid from Australia. Fuck. All right.
And then he gives him his props at the end of the match. He said, "Waller, you're good, but you ain't phenomenal."
What you call him?
And then introduces LA Knight back for some after the bell nonsense.
The oldest man in Orlando came out there. That's what I'm getting from NXT 2.0. The oldest man in Orlando came out there and attacked him. These two old men rejoiced in the ring, watching this young man suffer, and they bullied him.
And then that happened. NXT was filled with nonsense, but good stuff at the same time.
There wasn't any really nonsensical video package that they normally do. They had a lot of wrestling on the show. It was a solid show. And then, the threat of Walter coming. I don't know what they're going to do with Walter on this show, or they beat the shit out of people. And I'm looking forward to Braun Breaker Walter. And I'm assuming that's right around the corner.
Yeah, but I feel like Walter's going to have to put him over. You can't make Walter the NXT champion and make Braun Breaker like a 2-second champion. Ooh.
They only put the belt on Braun Breaker to say that he was a former NXT champion when he goes to the main roster, Randy.
What, in
He's
2
gone.
weeks? In 2 weeks?
Gone, yeah. He's going to be in that Elimination Chamber match before we know it.
Nah, Marcus, he's being in the Final Four in the Royal Rumble. Watch. I'm telling you now, he's in the Final Four in the Royal Rumble.
Oh, man, he's calling his shot.
When they all point to that WrestleMania sign.
Yep. And they look side to side who's left in the ring, and they have to choose an ally. It's going to be him and Kevin Owens of some kind. And maybe AJ and Edge. And they all look up at the side. Oh, that's mine. That's mine. And then Braun Breaker
you
may
know what,
even end up in the final two.
I feel like for the after the in the lead up to WrestleMania, I'm gonna have to put the WrestleMania logo in between our names so we can point to it in the show. Like...
There it is. Mania season. I think you should.
Yeah, so did you have any issues with NXT this week? No, I didn't.
I really didn't. Yeah. All the wrestling I've seen this week, I could complain less about NXT. I thought they delivered what they were doing. I was actually a little bummed out to hear that the entire NXT staff has been fired last week, and Shawn Michaels apparently secretly this week. But you know what? They still business as usual.
Ross also said NXT could just be Toxic Attraction for the whole show, and it would break the viewing numbers. Maybe not JC.
How about this? If we got an episode, if we got an episode of Toxic Attraction just playing strip poker in the middle of the NXT ring for the entire 2 hours, I don't think there'd be a single person complaining, even if it went to picture in picture.
I don't think people will be complaining, but I guarantee you it'll get more views if you uploaded it to Pornhub. So we move into AEW Dynamite. So me and Marcus realized during the pre-show we both fell asleep at some point during the show, and we saved it for the show as a game to work out when each other felt falling asleep.
Yeah, right.
And
So
we've written it down. We've written it down. No. I think we save it for the end. I think we save it for the end. We go through the show.
Okay. And we're saving for the end. Who fell asleep where?
Because that segment is sponsored by Wendy Chu. Just don't show that picture to Trick. He may jump on it.
Yeah, you can't trust Trick, You just carry her away. I just thought it was a pillow.
So the show opened up with Adam Cole and friends. He reminds everyone he is undefeated in singles competition and the boys are back together again. Which brings out the Young Bucks and the whining between them and Red Dragon on who's going to get the titles back first. And then the best friends come out.
Could care less about the best friends. Happy they got their ass whooped.
The only person I care about in the best friends is Statlander.
Yeah, but I marginally care about her. She wouldn't associate herself with the best friends. Maybe I care more, but nah.
And then
I don't care about any of these people. Hit them in their back.
The first brawl of the night happens. Between and then Britt Baker comes out to make save for her baby. And then next week we get a mixed tag match. Yay!
Are you okay with seeing the aligning of Britt Baker and Adam Cole?
I don't care, but I feel like Adam Cole could be doing bad things right about now.
But remember, they're extremely top heavy right now. I think at this point, I know they went with Sammy as North American champion and interim North American champion or whatever. Adam Cole would be the best North American champion right now for business, or not North American champion. I'm sorry, TNT champion. TNT champion.
Oh, I thought you were talking about. I completely missed what you said because I was reading a comment in my mind before I read it out by Levi.
Oh, I was just in the wrong brand. I was still in North America, but I meant to say the TNT championship.
So Booker T's been at it again, stating Jericho would be booed if he was in the Royal Rumble this year.
He won't. He wouldn't be.
I don't think he would. Like, I don't like Chris Jericho, but he would still get cheered.
He's still Jericho. People would cheer just hearing the old "Break the Walls Down" song.
Yeah,
like it's
not even break the walls, just to hear the
countdown. Do 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 do. Break the walls down. Like that would get the reaction that you want, and he would not get booed. And I think Rumble, you're almost safe from being booed from if you're any type of legend or anybody coming back, You may get a "Who are you?" or you may get the Nick Aldis "Who?" reaction from the show previous, but you will not get a negative reaction if you're a returning legend of any kind. Like Corey Graves has been cleared. I think Corey Graves getting into the Rumble, him or McAfee, both getting into the Rumble would be.
I don't care about Corey Graves. I'd rather see McAfee. No one cares about Corey Graves being cleared. Who's really out there going, oh yeah, he's cleared. I can't wait for him to regain his wrestling. No one cares.
Corey cares, all right? Maybe he could do something. I don't know what he could do, but battle of the mixed tag of commentary: Michael Cole and Pat McAfee versus Corey Graves and Jimmy Smith, maybe Byron.
Jimmy Smith. So we get the first match of the night. CM Punk versus Wardlow.
Yes.
Was it a DQ?
I'm gonna say no. I don't believe tables are a DQ, and the reason I think I'm in the minority of saying this. I believe that because it is an object that you can throw somebody on, like the rail or the post or the hardest part of the ring. I don't think it's a DQ. And Randy Orton always throws somebody on the table, and he does his table spot. It doesn't break, but it is always throws them on the table, and it's never a DQ. So I'm going to say it's not a DQ, but I do question why was this match not stopped, but Sheeta was.
Because Audrey Edwards has a bloodlust for people getting hurt.
So basically, this match was Wardlow beats the shit out of CM Punk.
How many power bombs was it?
I'm gonna say 8. Was it 8?
Yeah, 8.
8 power bombs
before roll up victory.
And he came back in, got the roll up, and caused a situation between MJF. Here's my problem with the logic of this whole scenario. I don't care that he got the roll up victory over Wardlow and this whatever. Wardlow lost. Do I think it's believable? No, but. Should they have just did a DQ for Wardlow? It would have been easier to get out of this. It would have protected Punk. It would have did the thing, but it would have not had the MJF scenario of them breaking up, which they've been teasing for a long time anyway.
They've been teasing for far too long. There's long-term storytelling, and then there's things that should just happen.
Yeah, but if he turns on him, what happens? I don't really want them to go back and forth in a feud, Wardlow and chasing MJF around the arena and all that. Like I don't think I want that. But let's see. Let me try to articulate my emotion about this. I should have grabbed water because I am thirsty now. I'm tired of that. But I just feel like it was a better way to get to where they got. It was just like it was. I was okay with it. Wardlow shouldn't have cared. I mean, he should have cared that he didn't get to beat CM Punk, but MJF shouldn't have been upset. He should have been like, just keep killing him. Just keep killing him. I didn't want you to win this match. You continue powerbombing him. I didn't tell you to stop. I don't see why MJF is upset that Wardlow lost. He shouldn't be upset that Wardlow lost. Wardlow should be upset that he lost. But MJF shouldn't be upset that Wardlow lost. He should have just been like, stay on him. It doesn't matter. Everybody gets their post-match heat anyway. Just keep powerbombing him. Keep killing him. And now that the DQ's out, let's grab a chair and let's beat this man up together with Sean Spears. Let's keep going. Let's cripple CM Punk.
And then MJF gives us Sean Spears versus CM Punk next week because we all want that.
I've been banging for that one my whole life since he was Ty Dillinger.
And then we get Powerhouse Hobbs versus Dante Martin. Jay Lethal comes after a stint of tagging with Sonny Kiss.
What the fuck?
And helps out Dante pick up the win by evening the score with Ricky Starks.
This was the same match.
Actually, you know what?
Same match.
Actually, you know what? I do remember this. I do remember. I don't know why I didn't give up the roll up. I need to adjust the stats.
Yeah, I told you. Told you, back to back. They had the exact same match, back to back, and that's why my main thing of AEW is structure. They need to format their show better. I think the Punk thing would have been better if it ended with Wardlow and MJF storming off and being upset, and him saying you fight John Spears in a 2-week continue, and you'd be like, oh, what's up with Wardlow? And you have that question lingering on, but they did back-to-backs of the same segments. Big guy versus little guy. Big guy dominates the whole match. Ends in roll-up victory because of outside shenanigans from the people who are outside. Ricky Starks was MJF. MJF was Ricky Starks. It was the exact same segment. And they need somebody to police that. They need to just do it a little different. The only thing they added different was Jay Lethal.
Yeah. And then Jericho is interviewed backstage about the Inner Circle being Faction of the Year by Pro Wrestling Illustrated, which is a fucking abomination, by the way.
I saw all the awards and I went, yeah, fine. It's great.
It's great, but it's not. I don't think they're correct with most of them.
No, I don't care. I don't think any awards are most awards are never correct anyway. I'm not gonna get my unique Louis Vuitton panties in the bunch. Whatever.
You don't wear Louis Vuitton pants.
No, and I also said panties, man.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it. Do you know why?
Yeah,
because that word is disgusting.
I wasn't going. I just didn't care. I just didn't care about those awards, and it's not like I was like, let's say it went the other way, and Roman got this, or Becky, or Sasha, or Bianca, or whoever got the awards, I still wouldn't care. It's not worth my time arguing with what I'm like. It's wrestling fans. Who cares? I don't care ever.
Then he states
the rest of the year. Never care.
He states if Terrence and Phillip get involved in this match, they will take him out. Eddie Kingston points at Santana and Ortiz and states the reason they aren't tag team champions is because of Chris Jericho, as he points at him. And then Jericho tells him to GFY.
Well, Jericho can GFY and, GFTOFO. I think that was too many letters. But get the fuck out. Just leave. Just get out of here, Jericho. You're chunky. You're fat. You're holding Santana Ortiz back. Jake Hager's in hell back. I don't even know how you're doing that. He wasn't going anywhere anyway. But you're holding people back. And yeah, when I watched later with Jungle Boy, they were in the back, and the Dark Horse like, can we get a title shot? I was like, that could have been the Pride and Powerful right there.
It could have been, but it isn't.
It's never them. It's never them. It's always every other makeshift ugly ass tag team they have.
So we get Hangman Adam Page coming out, states he needs a new challenger and various other shit. But this guy does not look like a champion whatsoever.
He looks like 1, a cool uncle. 2, the summer camp instructor, but also the cool summer camp instructor who will sneak you beer and alcohol. Who you don't want to hang around your teenage daughters.
So I made the joke. So Raph posted Brody King with Malachi Black. Okay. I said these two look like the guys that brew and sell craft beer at farmers markets. Hangman Adam Page is the guy that buys from them.
He tells you all the time, I only buy craft beers from these guys, from Tommy and Brody. They're the only guys that I respect.
Ridiculous. Hangman needs to carry himself like a champion.
So, they should have saved this bigger town for Brody King's debut. I thought this town didn't care who he was. They were chanting already, Brody King, but when he came out, it was like, oh, we got him. We didn't honestly think we could get him, and now that he's here, it was like, oh, okay. And I thought the segment, I don't know, it could have had more impact. Too much. They do the lights out all the time, and Tony was advertising big surprise anyway coming tonight. I don't know. It kind of fell flat to me. Brody looks impressive, of course, but they look great together. You know, they look like a pair. It just didn't work. Maybe it's the people they're fighting. I think I just don't care they're fighting them. Like, this happened against, like, you know, the Bucks or, you know, whoever else is on this roster. One of their upper tier stars, I'll probably be more invested. But since they're fighting somebody so low on the card, I could care less about Pillman and Garrison and Julie Hart, who I believe is going to turn on them anyway.
She looked like she was
turn tonight.
She looked like she was about to present a keynote from an evil dimension with that eye patch.
But the one thing I took away from this that I did not appreciate whatsoever, and Tony has took 2 steps back, is diversity training, in which Black declared that they are the new kings of the Black Throne, and I was like, no, no. My Black Throne is no longer black. It's white. It's white. No.
So I'm glad you covered that, because now we don't have to talk about the fact that Matt Hardy versus Penta happened. And another interesting segment was FTR and Lee Johnson and his son, which was the most ridiculous segment. You smell
what
that?
What are you talking about?
You smell that? We're in horseman country.
Yeah, I swear to God, it sounded like Arn Anderson's about to form the four horsemen with Brock Anderson and Lee Moriarty, and I'm about to say, somebody needs to stop him. I'm glad he doesn't own the rights. Flair, sue him. Flair.
By the way, you picked the wrong black guy, by the
man.
way. You just listed the wrong black guy.
I said Lee Moriarty, huh?
Yeah.
I'm not sure I understand.
It was Shawnee Lee Johnson. Sorry. I don't even... But they should be the leader. They should be known as the kings of the Black Throne. Not Malachi Black and Brody King. No.
Ridiculous. And then Sheeta versus Serena Deeb.
Yes.
Deeb attacks
Let it
and takes out
continue
Sheeta before the
again.
match starts.
This I felt like this feud was losing steam, and then way out of nowhere, Serena Deeb, bam, right into that kneecap, and I was like, it's back on, and she took out Sheeta once and for all. I was like, let me jump on that leg again, hold on, tag me in, I want to jump on that leg. Bonsai drop on the leg,
and then Deeb goes. And then they manage to get the match going, and then Deeb starts to get work on that knee before referee stoppage, where Sheeta looked pissed about it. And then takes out the knee more with a kendo stick. And then out comes for the save Tay Conti and Anna Jay and Sky Blue. I think Serena Deeb could have took all 4 of them out.
Yeah. Serena Deeb was buying her time. Hopefully it doesn't form a new faction. It's going to form some form of 6-woman tag. I don't know who Serena Deeb is going to team up with. Hopefully Jade Cargill. She can give her some lessons. Herself. Hey, by the way, now that Jade Cargill got this title, I don't think we're ever going to see her again on TV. She's going to be on Dark and Elevation.
Yep. Where everyone is. So it's where all the minorities are. No,
that's where the minorities go to win. They don't win on this show. And if you are a minority trying to win, example, if you are in the black people segment, as I like to call it, as in
the whitest one. The lightest one.
The lightest one had to win. Dante Martin. The whitest one I had to win, so that's the only way it works. Although they are taking the cue for WWE, put all the black people together in one feud.
So we get the Acclaimed versus Bear Country. The tag match wasn't actually bad, and then Sting and Darby Allin attack at the end of the match.
I don't remember this tag match at all. Not saying this is the match I fell asleep on, but this is not a match I remember at all. I remember none of the lyrics hit, even though I did like the Yokovic "you don't have a shot" line. I thought that was a good line that was wasted on this North Kakalaki crowd that I don't think watched tennis. I was like, that's a good tennis reference right there, because he didn't get the vaccine and he's out. And they're not going to take him. They're throwing him out. But other than that, I was like, give a shit about Bear Country or the Acclaim. They ain't doing shit to me. Darby
And
still
then-
has the best dive in the game now.
He
Skateboard
does.
dive seems scary. That seems scary. I wouldn't want to take that.
Because you don't know where he's going or anything. He doesn't have any control of what he's doing.
Yeah, that skateboard could have just landed straight in my mouth, and I could have lost some teeth.
Look, if anything, he's the loose cannon. His son ain't. He is the loose cannon.
Yes.
Brian Pillman is not Brian Pillman Jr. is not the loose cannon. This guy is. Darby Allin has no control of where he's going. He's just doing it.
Yeah, Brian Pillman was the loose cannon. His son, kind of I'm trying to think of the jam gun, like or when they have to put the gunpowder in the gun. Like really, fucking cannon. You really gotta get this to work. All right, it's gonna take some time. Stiff cannon.
And then we have Sammy Guevara versus Daniel Garcia.
In a match that shouldn't be in the main event. Solid match.
Why is
just didn't care.
Why is Daniel Garcia in yet another main event?
I don't know.
This guy continuously has main event matches. He is essentially the equivalent of main event Jay.
And he never wins. He has a horrible
He's
record.
actually solid. He's actually solid in the ring. But
Yeah.
but he isn't someone that you'd go, you know what, he should be in the main event.
It's my main event. When Mark Henry looks into the camera and say, "It's time for the main event." I gotta
don't
get that
think
T-shirt,
that.
by the way. I don't say Danny Garcia should be doing that. No, absolutely not. And it seemed like most people would agree with. And I don't understand why we have an interim TNT championship when the champion was only out for 1 week. Why couldn't we miss 1 week of Cody? I don't
know why they just didn't
We
postpone
gotta
it
put him-
and then have that match on another night. Like, why can't they just
Why
why couldn't they have made like the tag champs fight that night or Hangman fight that night?
Yeah, or something, But nope, they had to create an intro title for whatever reason. And you know where this is going, Manny. We know where this is going because Cody had to go this route.
Champion.
Champion versus champion to unify the titles, and because it's Cody, ladder match.
And he gonna bleed.
He gonna bleed. He gonna do a table bump. He gonna light the ladder on fire. He gonna see some. Do you get the Go Big Show ads?
On the thing I had, today, it cut it out.
Okay, so in one of the ads, there's a guy who's his Go Big thing was to solve Rubik's Cube in an X amount of time, and the twist was he was gonna light himself on fire while he's doing this.
Why?
And so you're watching this, and this guy light himself on fire and try to solve a Rubik's Cube as he's walking around Payne's about to die. And T-Pain's like, we're about to watch a man die? And then they cut away. And I'm like, that's where Cody got the idea to set himself on fire. That's all I got from that. I'm not going to watch it. I'm pretty sure that guy doesn't die because it would have been on the news.
So I forgot to mention on the show on, I think, Saturday, Andrade tried to buy Darby Allin.
Tried to buy him.
Yeah, on Rampage, Andrade tried to buy Darby Allin.
Yeah, that's what we call this.
like modern day slavery.
Well, I believe he made a deal with Matt Hardy to buy Private Party, like actual slavery.
And then and that was the show, but yeah, it wasn't good.
No, the show had nothing. It had really no steam for it. I can say that MJ, at least they are continuing to figuring out ways to continue the story of MJF and Punk, but it's the same way they've done every story with MJF, in which it's going down the same route. Nice promo exchange. They go this route. All right, cool. You fight Wardlow. You fight every member of Pinnacle. I'm assuming next he's gonna fight after this Nick Gage. It's the same storyline, just to get to MJF.
It's just so repetitive.
Yeah, and the creativity in this show isn't there. Like the matches, they have top tier wrestlers, can give you top tier matches, but the creativity and storylines are not there.
The thing is, I get we have to wait for a lot of this stuff, and I know MGF created this thing where he referred to the 4 pillars.
Yes.
How is he one of the pillars that haven't held a title? Ridiculous.
Don't know. He should be the one to be Hangman Page. Maybe at Revolution or Double or Nothing. I don't know what their next big show is.
I think Double or Nothing, you may see a title change. I think they'll have Hangman hold it for a while till the next pay per view. Like he'll get to Revolution and then maybe a title change around Double or Nothing.
Yeah, I hope so. But I don't know. I feel like they hurt their brand this week, and I think it was just too much AEW. Like we had Dynamite. We had Rampage. Then you on Saturday you had Rampage 2 with Battle at the Belt. And then we're already back here. And it was just like, there was no, I don't know, it's no it factor or anything. It was just
it's missing. This week felt like it was missing something. But I feel like there's too much wrestling as it is at the moment. So it's hard. So like, I feel we're being extra harsh about it.
Could be. I just feel like, yeah, there's no drama on the show, and what they're missing are all the characters I like. By the way, we skipped an entire segment, Manny, on this show. We didn't talk about the return of Les Archer and Pac. By the way, Pac goes missing every 2 weeks anyway.
No, I
hated
it. I'm tired of Pac. I don't give a fuck about Pac anymore.
If
he returns, I don't care. He's had more returns than anyone. He's had more returns than anyone.
I know. Anybody ever. Just showed up like, oh, Pac's back. His flights didn't get canceled this week. Stop going home. Les Archer had his return, and he did attack Hangman Page. We didn't talk about that at all. And then the Dan Lambert, we didn't talk about that, of Dan Lambert giving a speech of randomness.
No. He praised him because he didn't take the Cody path. And he said, the fans shouted, you deserve it. And then you retorted, no, because I earned it. However, he isn't a cowboy. He is full of cowboy shit. And then Archer comes out. I think Lambert had something to do with him in the lead up to him being injured. And then he points out, you're in the ring with the champion, go get him. And then escapes. That's what Jake would tell you to do.
So yeah, that was Dynamite. They're missing all the characters I like from the show. Other than the Serena Deeb Machina, there's only like the people I really like from a Dynamite show. Bryan Danielson, Miro, all missing. That's it.
Okay.
Eddie Kingston had very minimal mic time and appearance. He was involved in the Sammy match somehow. And I'm not interested in him and Jericho or whatever the hell they're trying to do. No mocks whatsoever. And I know you don't. He is missed.
So in the segment sponsored by Wendy Chu and the 3 Z's, at what point did either of us fall asleep during this show?
All right, here we go. I will.
I believe.
Okay.
So where do you? So I will say where I fell asleep.
Okay.
Where I fully remember where I fell asleep. Do you want to guess first, or shall I tell you and then you shall?
I want you to reveal it, and I want you to reveal it so I can be right.
I fell asleep during Matt Hardy versus Penta.
I don't know what the rest of this is. But,
That looks like a payslip, Marcus.
Yeah, I folded it backwards.
Yeah. I also think you fell asleep during Matt Hardy versus Penta.
Wow, Manny, for your information, I didn't fall asleep during Matt Hardy versus Penta. But it was something I fell asleep through. It didn't wake me up. I fell asleep during Dan Lambert and Hangman Page. When Hangman Page started talking. And then next thing you know, I was done with the Matt Hardy and Penta match. And then I went, I feel like I missed a chunk of the show or somewhere. And then I went back and I was like, ooh, what? I guess Lance Archer's back.
So, do you remember how I didn't know the finish to Hobbs? That was the point where I was nodding off. I was actually sat at my desk. I was sat at my desk watching it, and I was like constantly on that like verge of falling asleep and your head starting to go. So I decided, I had the bright idea, let me watch the rest of it from bed. No, bad idea.
That is the best decision ever. Whenever I watch a sporting event or something, you know, I'm not up a bit, I'm just going to watch the rest in my bed. That's basically you deciding to go to sleep, but not saying it. I'm going to get under my blanket. I am going to put my head on my pillow and I am going to watch this and I'm going to rest my eyes during the commercial break.
So what happened was I typed the match. I typed Matt Hardy versus Penta in the notes. I woke up midway through the Acclaim versus Bear Country. It's like, I think I fell asleep for about half an hour. I was like, what happened? And then I immediately look, oh no, what?
Good time.
So we do have updated stats. AEW now have 2 roll-ups, 1 DQ finish, 4 run-ins, 4 after the bell nonsenses, and then 9 brawls in 2 shows already. 9.
I feel like after everything's a brawl. Everything's a brawl. 9 after 2. 3 shows or 2?
2.
How many is this for the stats?
It's 2 just Dynamite.
Impressive.
I actually need to rewatch Rampage as well to get the stats. I really don't want to.
You can say these stats don't count because Rampage don't count. They showed the lineup for Rampage, and I thought there was going to be a big match announced on this show. And they kept going through all these seconds. I was like, but what's the big match? And I was like, they must have said it. And I don't know which one.
No, one of the,
it
do you know one of the announcements was, will these two revisit their feud or whatever? I was like, there's not even a match. You're advertising me a video package for Rampage.
Yes. Yeah, I remember them doing that. And I was like, I don't think I'm watching Rampage this week. There's not one match on there. Oh, I think the big match ended up being Jungle Boy versus the Dark Order, though. And I was like, that's not putting my ass in the seat.
I hope to God Eric doesn't find anything wrong with that show, so we can glance over it in like 5 minutes.
I say, Manny, we do a skip it. We skip it. Skip it. Skip it. But we skip that show. Eric will watch it. And then we just chime in every now and then and talk about, I didn't like that brawl that happened after that match. We're trying to guess.
So we should just guess what happened on Rampage.
Yes. We
Okay.
guess the winners. We guess winners and losers. And like if we are wrong, Eric's like, they didn't win. They didn't win. Oh shit! I didn't.
I don't know what I was doing.
Yeah, I don't know how I missed the finish. How did I mess it up? Oh, I'm sorry. I said Ruby Soho. I honestly don't remember what's on the card. I just remember it's a bunch of stuff that I did not care about.
It's loads,
Adam
and
Cole
then they
versus
announced
somebody.
loads for next week, and it's just like, why are you announcing so much? Like, everyone's gonna remember this. You got to remember half the people you're watching have like very bad short-term memory.
Yeah. A lot of chair shots to the head, guys. As a kid. But yeah, that was Dynamite, and yeah, that wasn't one of the best Dynamites of the year. That's one of the most forgettable Dynamites ever.
It might be the worst Dynamite. Like, when we go through the 2022, that could be the worst Dynamite, because there's normally stuff that you can latch onto and go, that was really good. But like, there was nothing this week.
Yeah, crowd wasn't even that hyped for stuff this week.
And you'd
the
think because
crowd
it
is
was a
normally
North Carolina would be a hyped crowd, but it wasn't.
It turned out as I was browsing through the internet and trolling and essentially trolling somebody, there was a post about the attendance of Dynamite. It was bad.
It was empty.
It was empty, yeah. But even then, even when they do that, it's still like a hype crowd. But they were all just kind of like, eh. Oh shit.
Yeah, but AEW don't tend to be as bad.
Dynamite. Yeah.
AEW don't tend to be as bad for attendance.
Yeah.
But that one was bad. That one felt like it was Monday Night Raw. We need to move everyone to the hard camera.
I can see Tony going, fuck. Like, and then, they moved everybody to the hard cut, and then, they always have people who leave during Rampage. Like, I don't need to see this and shit. So, just a bad night for Dynamite. I'm sure they'll bounce back eventually, but I don't know. Tony needs to stop bragging about his surprises as well.
Well,
like,
I was saying this to Ross.
It's hurting the brand.
I was saying this to Ross on the Raw is Retro thing. You can't do those things anymore. Like, you know how before you could have on a pay-per-view back in the day, you could have a surprise of this person coming back or this person joined the company or whatever. You can't do that on pay-per-view anymore. It needs to be on free TV so you get the views and you need to somewhat announce it because you can't have surprises anymore because it's such a view-heavy game now because, like, no one's really watching this stuff anymore. So you need spikes where you can draw in people. So, like, you will hit... So, like, that's why you see both of them heavily announced. Like, Tony Khan won't say, oh, Brody King is coming next week or whatever. But, like, they will say, oh, something like a surprise is going to happen. With WWE, you kind of get the benefit of the doubt of a surprise happening because they don't have to announce that, oh, we've got something special coming along because they've kind of got the viewership. Whereas AEW are trying to establish themselves. But, like, if it was like, oh, The Rock coming, you wouldn't do The Rock coming as a surprise, almost. You would do it if it was a live event, but, like, we did get it with Cena at a live at SummerSlam. Not at the end of SummerSlam, the end of Money in the Bank, wasn't it?
Something like that, one of those shows.
Yeah, so you get that, but, like, anyone else, it would have been on Raw or SmackDown or whatever, and it would have been announced. Like, you see people getting up in arms about the Women's Royal Rumble being announced. But, like, are you really going to be that surprised if, I don't know, Nikki Bella came out? No, because she's always been in the Rumbles, and, like, Tori Wilson and the other ones. The only one I'm excited for is Summer Rae.
But when people got up in arms about the surprises of the Women's Rumble, I think the only one that I'm shocked about was the Mickie James one. But the internet had so much buzz for Impact, that was a good one. But there's still 18 people or something like that, some number that they didn't announce yet. So there's still possible surprises. Like,
but the ones they named, they
have 18 people. They have 12 more people. Yeah, it's 12 more people who are missing out this Rumble.
The ones they named, they were like, I kind of expected them to be in it. The only two that I was kind of surprised by was Summer Rae and Mickie James, because you thought Mickie James wouldn't come back given the treatment she got. But, like, obviously they fired the people that did all that shit. So they obviously want to try and make amends. So, like, yeah, I see it, but I still think... By the way,
in the list of firings this year or last year, that happened.
But I still want to say Mickie James only accepted this because Nick Aldis is too afraid to go to one of the big companies because he'll get found out for being the fraud. He is the most boring man in wrestling.
Leave him alone. He's not the most boring man in wrestling.
I bet you 100% Lance Storm finds him entertaining. And you know why? Because Lance Storm is also boring.
I find Nick Aldis entertaining on the microphone, and it ends there. That's it. It ends there.
Marcus, if Nick Aldis kicked off Dynamite today in a match, I don't think I'm doing a report. I would have fallen asleep and never woken up.
We would have did this game, and I would have been like, Aldis.
The Aldis effect. So now the joke about Aldis is going to have to go through 2 parts when I do a best of this.
Leave all this alone. Leave all this alone.
Do you know that part about Aldis went on for like 5 minutes?
Did it?
Last show. Yeah. When I put on the chapter, I was like, damn. Maybe I am. Maybe Marcus is right. Maybe that was the meanest thing I've ever said on the show.
Self-reflection. Self-reflection on that.
Yeah, because when I put in the chapters, I rewatched the show, so I know. Especially like if I so I can take a note if something is remotely funny, so we can do a callback to it at some point.
Yeah.
Or we can clip it. But I was like, "Ooh, that's mean." I was like, "No, it's not that mean because I am right."
He deserves it. He's trash. He's trash. Don't fall that route, Manny. You have no heart. No. He's trash. But again, you know how you posted the comment 10 minutes later we were still laughing at Baloo? We are days removed from that. And I still laugh at it randomly.
Do you know what though? I was explaining
my
that.
life, Baloo. And I
was explaining it to someone, and then it's like they were laughing about it. Out of context, it's just like, yeah, we were just like, I don't know how we came up with the initial discussion about Baloo and the Jungle Book, about having problems and then forgetting about your worries and your stress.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. We were talking about bills and shit, and I was like, it's the bare necessities, man. That's all you need, or something. Oh, we were talking about the watches and the wristbands and stuff, and how you and Eric buy like iPads and all that. And I'm just like, I just use the bare necessities and stuff. If I have a chair, I don't need a fancy chair. Just give me a 2 stacks of bricks, and I'll sit there and I have it. I have the bare necessities. But then it led to I can't pay my lights, Baloo. I can't pay my lights, Baloo.
To take my lights, Baloo.
Just random laughter. Like, I was randomly laughing. I was at work. I went to work last night randomly because I had to do something, whatever. And I randomly just started laughing because I started to cut my lights blue.
But it's the fact that you sold it because you used the voice of like pain and struggle.
Yeah, I was like, where did that come from? It was just, I don't know. It was funny. I don't know. It was an out of body experience of laughter.
And the fact that we didn't even have that discussion on the show, and then it transferred in, and it still kind of worked if you knew what. And I think it was just one of those jokes for us.
Oh man, it's just so stupid.
But we've given you an hour and a half of content. We'll be back Saturday, where we will have watched AEW Rampage.
Yes.
And I say watch, I mean mentally.
Check out that wink. I'm watching the shit out of that. That's how much I'm winking. This eye too.
I can't do it.
Fingers crossed. I'm watching it.
Yeah, so we'll be back. Make sure you follow the new Sharpshooters Twitter account, which is Sharpie Network. I think it's Sharpies Network.
Sharpies with an S. It's a plural.
And
plural. It's like if you have herpes, but Sharpies.
The Herpes Network. Hey.
I'm sure that's on Twitter. It's just people just like, check this out. Ah! This is where we come to talk. Goddamn you, Madonna.
I got the complex, man. I got the complex.
Tell your story in 140 characters.
And we'll be back.
We were just sipping wine, and then I took a sip from this one girl. I was like, bitch, what's this just on your mouth? I got it.
And we'll be back this Saturday with Eric for the Sharpshooters Wrestling Podcast. Peace.